Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Demon Souls. We're starting today here in 5.1, right before the first giant depraved one in the level, because now there's a brand new ladder for us. You might have noticed whenever we zone into a world, next to the area name there's this, oh, it's just 5.1. They don't hurt that much anymore. There's this black and white eye symbol. You can also get to it from the tendency tab in the menu. And that icon varies a little bit, similar to the icon to the left of the health bar, which is slightly different, and that's something we'll cover later. That symbol is an indication of world tendency. You're getting ganged up on a little bit. 4 at once might be dangerous if I'm totally reckless. So things that you do in a world influence that world through the tendency system. I knew it was there, but I just thought I could get away. Okay, you're still a little bit dangerous. That makes sense. You are in the extra path. So tendency can range from pure black all the way up to pure white. Uh-oh. Bridge is an awful place to be fighting him. So at pure black, the eye is almost completely dark and there are all these red flecks floating around. And in pure white, this symbol will be radiant and pulsing with gold. And now up here, the fun begins. There are 3 giant depraved ones guarding the thing that we're after. So we're going to pull them down, and since I have the Thief's Ring on, it should not be too hard to isolate them and take them out one at a time. I just want to make sure that I'm being careful not to roll within their aggro range while I'm dodging this one. I think if I aggro the other 2 at the same time, now it shouldn't be too bad. I'm pretty confident in an area this open that I could take 2-on-1, but why take the risk if it's not strictly necessary? So when you hit either of the extremes, pure black or pure white, new events and pathways open up in certain levels, like this one. The pathway that has led us here appears at pure white world tendency, which we got through, I believe, having a deathless run through the whole of the Valley of Defilement, and for killing all 3 bosses. So let's check our new Istarel out. Oh, Storm Ruler too! I forgot to read the description last time. A legendary large sword with a barbed blade, named for one who quells or controls storms. It is said that the ancestral Shadowmen rent the very storm clouds from the sky with its might. Abandoned for an age, the sword is badly deteriorated, but what remains of this once mighty weapon is still enough to send foes flying. If wielded in the forest of monoliths, resting place of the ancestral spirits, its power to rend the sky might just be reawoken. So outside of 4-3, it functions as a regular greatsword. Istarel, a short spear of hard oak covered with engravings, this spear is one of the few remaining relics of God. Once belonged to the holy knight Riziah. The divine nature of the spear increases its wielder's resistance to plague and poison. Riziah, Veto of the Moonlight, and Garl Vinland. They're the ones who accompanied Astraea into the valley. Or not accompanied, but Garl accompanied her. The others went in after her to try to ascertain what had become of her. And they did not make it out. But that is not the only tendency event that we are going to be seeing today. And I'm going to talk about tendency a little bit more on the way to the next one. So other more general things that happen in White World Tendency will be that enemies' stats get lowered across the board. You do more damage to them while in soul form. And consequently, even though the enemies get easier, or because the enemies get easier, they drop less useful stuff. You get less souls from them, and their loot table tends towards their less rare items, if they drop anything at all. And then in Pure Black, it's the exact opposite. Enemies get considerably stronger, but they drop more souls and more valuable items. The other thing is that your max HP in soul form, which is when it's capped, is even lower than usual at Pure Black. Also, new enemies appear in the form of special black phantoms, and something else we will see will spawn. And in order to push a world towards Pure White, you can kill a boss in that world, or you can kill people invading you in that world. Additionally, killing the dragons in World 1 will give you points towards Pure White in that world, obviously. And there are a few specific things that we'll see in action pretty soon that can impact world tendency. And then, to do the opposite, each time you die in a level in body form, that world's tendency will dip towards black. That's why you'll often see people complete a level and then go back to the Nexus and take a falling death, so that they can continue on without risking messing up the world tendency that they're going into by dying.
Why? You are one of the sane ones, are you not? I am Selen of the West. I seek my brother Garl Vinland, the knight who accompanied Saint Estraya on her travels. I believe they settled here. If you happen to see my younger brother, please tell me. I must share with him the last words of our father. I heard an unflattering rumor about Saint Estraya. It was that herb peddler. She believes that Estraya is herself a demon. She has no reason to lie, but surely she must be mistaken. I find something odd about this place. It brims with grime, but at once feels strangely pure. I find something odd.
Oh, right, before I forget, since world tendency affects your luck and loot tables, that also extends to crystal lizards. So how much and what they drop depends on your world tendency. And the curious thing that I find here is that everybody, when they talk about Estraya, their main concern is whether or not she's strayed from the path of God. That's what they tend to be focused on. Whether or not she's following God, or whether she's blasphemed. The implicit assumption being that if she has abandoned God, that's bad, because God is good and demons are bad. And then we meet her, and she feels abandoned by God herself, seeing what God has let happen here. And now we're coming back to 5-3 because Selen Vinland, brother of Garl Vinland, has asked us to see what's become of her brother. He specifically appears here after we have defeated Estraya and once we've achieved Pure White World tendency to continue on Selen's quest. And the fight works just the same as it did when we fought Estraya. He's got the same movesets, he's just got higher stats, so it's a bit of a grind. That should do it. Maybe one more? I figured the bleed would do it. Ah, there we go. And so this time when we defeat him, instead of getting all that dark silver gear, we get the Vinland crest and his extremely heavy hammer, Brammed. A dreadfully large crude iron hammer, one of the Vinland family treasures, said to have been bent into its shape by an old killer of giants, increases resistance to plague and poison, but impossible to wield properly by anyone of ordinary strength, even when grasped with both hands. It's 36 units of weight. 36 whole units. And then the Vinland crest is under here. I thought it was key items. Small, intricately decorated Vinland family crest. So now we are just gonna hightail it and bring this back to Selen. And thankfully, Black Phantom Garl Vinland, defeating him does not lower your world tendency.
That crest. A Vinland heirloom meant for my younger brother. So, my brother and Astraea have both strayed from the path of God. The poor souls. Perhaps their hearts were too pure. Umbasa. Oh, traveling warrior. I hesitate to ask, but can you part with that crest? Garl has strayed from the path of righteousness, but I wish to have the heirloom in honor of our Vinland blood. I shall reward you in kind.
Yeah, of course we'll give it over.
Thank you, kind warrior. As Garl's sister, I express my deepest thanks for your honoring of his name. Please accept this as thanks. Perhaps you will have use for it, as he now does not. May you receive God's blessing, Umbasa.
The Ring of Devout Prayer. We also got the Ring of Sincere Prayer from Astraea. Humble and plain white silver ring increases miracle memory capacity. A symbol of high status in the church, it's bestowed only upon those who are engaged in deep and constant prayer, devoted to selfless and eternal service to their Maker.
May you receive Umbasa.
So now, that just about wraps up Selen's side quest. Right, there is one additional thing that I have forgotten about for quite a while, which is coming over here to get the armor set that you see Selen wearing, the dull gold set. It's on her half of the swamp, kind of in between her and the island full of giant depraved ones, on the body of the phosphorescent slug, lone out here on the island. And now we're going to keep things rolling with all of the pure white world tendency events for the Shrine of Storms, since killing the Storm King pushed us into pure white here as well. And you can see how radiantly that icon shines when it's at pure white. It's still a little ambiguous when it's one level off from pure white or pure white. It's still a little bit hard to discern the difference. It used to be much worse. And that's saying something, because it's still kind of bad. The ambiguity of this mechanic drives people nuts. The other way in which world tendency used to be harder to understand is because being online could influence it, just without any input from you. Your server's world tendency influenced your own individual world's tendencies. But that is no longer the case. And now that we're back here in pure white, when we fall down this pit, the rock spire has crumbled a little bit, allowing us to access Magic Sword Makoto, a cursed katana that has appeared in folklore throughout the ages, named for Makoto the Giant, who lived in a distant land. Countless unique teeth have been carved into its blade. These teeth ravage the flesh, never to heal again. Cursed weapons like the Makoto are said to devour the wielder's essence and rob their warmth. Innumerable warriors continue to be taken by the Makoto's allure, nevertheless. So this is a version of Hiltless, kind of. And there is someone who is very interested in seeing it, who has also appeared now that the Shrine of Storms is in pure white. And luckily for us, he is right at the start of 4-1. We just have to deal with Roly-Poly first. Dude, it is impossible to hear you from back here.
Don't be afraid. You have much to gain. I am Satsuki. I seek a keepsake of my father. Have you seen the sword inscribed Makoto? I will offer you demon swords if you can help me find it.
Well, luckily we just found it, so...
You have found the Makoto, have you? Bless your good fortune, and, well, good work. Now, just hand Makoto over to me.
Yeah, why not?
Yes. This is she. This luster. It's finally mine. But could this sword really be as deadly as they say? There is only one way to find out.
No matter what you do here, and you can see as soon as he pulls out, he's taking damage. There is nothing that you can do here that will not result in him attacking you. If you refuse to give him Makoto, he attacks you and tries to take it by force. If you show up wielding Makoto, that especially pisses him off. Ooh! I really like that Istarel animation. Plus, Istarel is really useful for us because, like the Moonlight Greatsword that we also got out of the Valley of Defilement, Istarel also scales with faith. So now, let's see, what do we have to do? I think we're going to start getting ready for Pure Black World Tendency stuff now. So the most effective way to achieve Pure Black in a world is to die quickly in it, respawn, use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, and die again, and then repeat until Pure Black. Again, there are other unique ways to drop your world tendency, but we'll see those later. Actually, as a matter of fact, killing Satsuki was one of them. So after just killing Satsuki and taking a few deaths, I'm already at Pure Black in the Shrine of Storms. Now we can start seeing some more new stuff. So this path you might recognize as the path out to the red-eyed skeleton that can drop a Pure Bladestone. There's something else out here now. First, we're going to take care of him, hopefully get our Pure Bladestone. That would be really, really nice, but I doubt it. Can we get that third one? Okay. I was worried he was going to interrupt. Nope, just a chunk. This path is now going to lead us out, ooh, to a lizard, and to this big boy. And we don't have anything real to fear from him. This grotesque dude is a primeval demon. There is one per world that appears at Pure Black World Tendency. They occasionally attack from the front, but it's not very dangerous and it's not very often. When you kill them, you get a colorless demon soul. You also get a massive boost to your world tendency. So you know how we've been wandering around with the Moonlight Greatsword at +0? Soul of a primeval demon, drearily anemic compared to most demon souls. Colorless souls are what will allow us to upgrade our Moonlight Greatsword or our new Istarel, or any unique named weapon. You get one primeval demon per world per playthrough, so for a total of 5 colorless souls from them, and then through trading with Sparkly the Crow and some other events and side quests we'll do later, you can get up to 5 more. I believe unique items max out at +5, so you can max out 2 unique weapons per playthrough, assuming you don't do any kind of duping or exploiting to get extras. They also provide the single biggest boost in world tendency towards Pure White. Pretty much any one of those at Pure Black World Tendency plus 1 boss will slingshot you to Pure White, which is why we are now much closer to Pure White than we were right before we zoned in. Alright, I am once again back at Pure Black World Tendency. I had to do a bunch more dying and resurrecting, but that's easier than going straight, or I mean it's more convenient for me, than going straight from the Primeval Demon and walking all the way back here. Which is what you would have to do. Your world tendency, the world itself updates when you hit a loading screen. So if you exit the game and come back in, if you reload the level, if you go back to the Nexus and come back. So if you do it all in one run, you can do all of the Pure Black World Tendency stuff all at once, which is what I'm gonna have to try to do from now on, because I'm not gonna have infinite Stones of Ephemeral Eyes. They're a little annoying to farm. And now, since we've done the regular Satsuki fight at Pure White, on Pure Black he spawns in the same place, but as a Black Phantom who drops another copy of Hiltless, which we already had. But it's good for completionist's sake, and that is the other way that you get a massive increase in your world tendencies, by defeating certain Black Phantoms, unique to each world. In the Shrine of Storms, it's Satsuki. In the Valley of Defilement, you can guess that it's going to be a Black Phantom, Selen Vinland. And I think I might actually, yeah, because I need to do something else anyway. It's going to be easier going from Dirty Colossus's Archstone. So this is the path that we took towards the ramp with all the slugs on it. Except now, further back in the distance, you can see that lumpy silhouette. It's another primeval demon. And honestly, the swamp and the mosquitoes are going to provide more danger than it. But the reward, of course, is going to put our Moonlight Greatsword up to +2 once we get around to going back to the blacksmith. For now, I think it might be a little easier because of the newly spawned, as you can see below, Black Phantom Depraved Ones. I think... Giant Depraved Ones. I think it'll be easier if we take the scaffolding over here and just drop down where the Moonlight Greatsword used to be. Alright, we're approaching the campfire where in Pure White, Selen Vinland was camped out. In Pure Black World Tendency, it's her Black Phantom. And we have a fight on our hands right away. This is dangerous for a lot of reasons. The spell she starts off trying to cast is the least dangerous part about it. It's Anti-Magic Field, which doesn't affect us at all since we have no spells to cast except for miracles, which go unaffected by that spell. I'm gonna try to keep her on this island as much as possible. It gives me the most mobility and the most ability to back up and regenerate stamina, which is the most important thing. If she baits us into the swamp, or pushes us there, then I'm just gonna have to do my best to keep her at max range of the Moonlight Greatsword. Speaking of which, that is one of the... Fuck. Good. One of the things that makes her so dangerous is that her weapon, that short sword, Blind, has the exact same properties as her Moonlight Greatsword. It cannot be blocked. That, and she has full mobility in the swamp as if she had the ring that we still didn't go to 3-2 to get. The Sodden Ring. And now, hey, if she just wants to keep doing this, don't let her complete it, we can just chase her down and keep interrupting it. She's trying to heal. Okay. And she'll heal for almost full HP at this point. Come on. Good. So that's a fairly dangerous Black Phantom fight out of the way. And we get her weapon Blind. A curved sword with perfectly transparent blade. A perfectly transparent blade. Selen Vinland, the dull gold knight, was famously dauntless, and the sword was equally well known as the Vinland family treasure. The blade is illusory and as light as a feather, allowing it to pass through any shield's defenses. And I believe that is now World 4 and World 5 cleared out in their entirety. Both their story-critical bosses and all of the Pure Black and Pure White events unique to them. Not including, like, minor stuff, like a couple of Black Phantom spawns like we saw with the giant depraved ones. So, that is going to do it for now. Next time, we are going to be back to Boletaria with 2-1. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.